Welcome back to SpeakWise Podcast, your daily place to listen, learn, and speak English naturally. If you enjoy learning English with us, please subscribe so you never miss a new lesson. Now, let's begin. Let me ask you a simple question. When someone speaks English to you, do you hear the English? Then, translate it into your language. Think of an answer. Translate it back into English. And finally, speak. If your answer is yes, you're not alone. Millions of English learners do exactly the same thing every day. And that's the biggest reason they can't speak fluently. Today, you're going to discover how native speakers think. More importantly, you're going to learn how you can begin thinking in English too. By the end of today's lesson, you'll realize that fluency isn't about speaking faster. It's about thinking differently. Take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin today's story. It is another beautiful Saturday morning. Emma arrives at the conversation club earlier than usual. She opens the front door. The room is still quiet. Only Sarah is there. She is arranging chairs for today's meeting. Sarah smiles. "Good morning, Emma. You're early today." Emma smiles back. "I wanted a little more time to practice." Sarah notices something. "You look thoughtful. Is everything okay?" Emma sits down slowly. "I have a question." Sarah pulls out a chair and sits beside her. "Go ahead." Emma takes a deep breath. "I understand much more English now. I can have conversations. I know more vocabulary. But something still feels wrong." Sarah nods. "Tell me." Emma looks down at her notebook. "Every time someone asks me a question, I still translate everything in my head." Sarah smiles gently. "That's completely normal." Emma looks surprised. "Really?" Sarah nods. "Almost every English learner goes through this stage." Emma sighs. "It makes me feel slow. Sometimes I already know the answer, but while I'm translating, the conversation keeps moving. By the time I'm ready, everyone has already started talking about something else." "Repeat after me." "I still translate in my head." "Repeat." "I want to think in English." "Repeat." "I want to respond naturally." "Repeat." Excellent. Sarah walks to the whiteboard. She writes one sentence. "English. Your language." "English." Then she draws arrows between them. Every time you translate, your brain has to travel this path. "English. Your language." "English again." Emma nods. That is exactly what happens. Sarah smiles. "Now watch this." She erases the middle words. Only one word remains. "English." Sarah turns toward Emma. This is how native speakers communicate. They don't translate. They simply understand. Emma looks at the board. "So, how do I stop translating?" Sarah smiles. "You don't stop overnight. You replace the habit, little by little. Repeat after me. Little by little. Repeat. One step at a time. Repeat." Excellent. Just then, Michael walks into the room carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Morning. I thought you two might need these." Emma smiles. "Perfect timing." Michael hands 1 cup to Sarah. Then he sits down. "What are we talking about?" Sarah smiles. Emma wants to stop translating in her head. Michael laughs softly. "I remember that stage. It was exhausting." Emma looks surprised. "You translated too?" Michael smiles. "Every single sentence. Sometimes I was so busy translating, I forgot to listen." Emma laughs. "That's exactly how I feel." "Repeat after me." "That's exactly how I feel." "Repeat." "I know what you mean." "Repeat." "I've been there." "Repeat." "Wonderful." Michael points toward the window. "Emma, what do you see outside?" Emma looks. "Trees. Cars. People. A dog." Michael smiles. "Did you translate those words?" Emma thinks for a moment. "No, I didn't." Michael nods. "Exactly. Because those words are already connected directly to the picture, not to your native language." Emma suddenly becomes curious. "So, I can already think in English sometimes." Michael smiles. "More often than you realize." Sarah walks back to the whiteboard. Today's lesson isn't about learning new words. It's about building new connections. English directly to ideas. English directly to images. English directly to feelings. Without translating, now think in English. Coffee. Can you picture it? A sunny morning. Can you picture it? A happy friend. Can you picture that too? Excellent. You didn't need translation. You only needed imagination. Now, it's time for today's listening challenge. Listen carefully. Michael says, "You can already think in English sometimes." What does he mean? A. Emma already knows how to connect some English words directly to ideas. B. Emma has perfect English. C. Emma never makes mistakes. The correct answer is A. Excellent work. Sarah smiles at Emma. Today, you're going to discover that thinking in English is much easier than you think. But first, you need to train your brain in a completely different way. Emma picks up her notebook. For the first time, she isn't planning to memorize more vocabulary. Today, she's going to change the way she thinks. And that will change the way she speaks forever. Sarah walks to the center of the room. She smiles at everyone. Today, we're going to do something different. No notebooks. No dictionaries. No translating. Only pictures. Only ideas. Only English. Everyone looks curious. Emma smiles. This sounds interesting. Sarah holds up a picture of a bright red apple. She doesn't say anything. She simply points to it. Then she asks, "What is this?" Everyone answers immediately. "An apple." Sarah smiles. Did anyone translate first? The room becomes quiet. Michael laughs. "No. We just knew." Sarah nods. "Exactly. Because your brain connected the English word directly to the image. That's how children learn their first language. Repeat after me. I see an apple. Repeat. It's red. Repeat. It looks fresh. Repeat. Excellent. Sarah changes the picture. This time, it's a beach. Blue water. Soft scene. Palm trees. She asks, "What do you see?" Emma answers, without thinking, "I see the ocean. The sky is blue. It looks peaceful." Sarah smiles. "Wonderful. Did you notice something?" Emma nods. "I didn't translate. I just described the picture." Sarah writes one sentence on the whiteboard. Pictures create ideas. Ideas create English. Not translation. Repeat after me. I describe what I see. Repeat. I think about ideas. Repeat. I don't need translation. Repeat. Excellent. Sarah walks toward another table. She picks up a small coffee cup. She holds it in the air. What is this? Everyone laughs. Coffee. Sarah smiles. Good. Now, don't say the word coffee. Describe it. Emma thinks for a second. It's hot. It smells good. People drink it in the morning. Michael smiles. Perfect. Sarah nods. That's exactly how you build thinking in English. Instead of searching for one word, you describe the idea. Repeat after me. It's hot. Repeat. It smells wonderful. Repeat. People drink it every morning. Repeat. Excellent. Now Sarah gives everyone a small card. Each card has one simple word. Emma looks at hers. Rain. Sarah smiles. Don't translate. Describe it. Emma looks out the window. It falls from the sky. Sometimes it's cold. People use umbrellas. Michael smiles. Very nice. Sarah laughs. See? You already know enough English. You simply need to trust yourself. Repeat after me. I know more English than I think. Repeat. I can explain ideas. Repeat. I don't need perfect words. Repeat. Wonderful. Now it's time for today's native tip. Native speakers don't always know the perfect word. When they forget a word, they explain it. For example, instead of stopping, they might say, "It's the thing you use to," or "It's something like," or, "You know, the thing that." These expressions keep conversations moving. Repeat after me. It's something like. Repeat. It's the thing you use to. Repeat. You know what I mean. Repeat. Excellent. Sarah smiles. Let's play a game. You cannot say the word on your card. Only describe it. Michael goes first. His card says, bicycle. He smiles. You ride it. It has 2 wheels. You don't need gasoline. Emma laughs. A bicycle. Everyone claps. Emma stands up. Her next card says, hospital. She begins slowly. People go there when they're sick. Doctors work there. Sometimes you stay overnight. Sophia smiles. Hospital. Emma laughs. That was easier than I expected. Sarah nods. Because you weren't translating. You were thinking. Now think in English. Describe your bedroom. Don't translate. Describe your favorite food. Don't translate. Describe your best friend. Don't translate. Excellent. Now it's time for today's listening challenge. Listen carefully. Sarah says, you don't need the perfect word. What does she mean? A. You should stop speaking. B. You can explain an idea even if you forget one word. C. You should use your native language. The correct answer is B. Excellent work. Emma looks around the room. Everyone is smiling. Everyone is speaking. No one seems worried about making mistakes. For the first time, she realizes something important. Thinking in English isn't about knowing every word. It's about using the words you already have. And somehow, that feels much easier than she ever imagined. Emma sits back down. She keeps thinking about what Sarah said. Pictures, ideas, feelings, not translation. Michael notices the thoughtful look on her face. He smiles. Want to try something a little harder? Emma nods. I'm ready. Sarah walks over with a small box. Inside are dozens of photographs. She places them face down on the table. Everyone will choose one picture. Then you'll have 1 minute to describe it. There's only one rule. Don't worry about perfect grammar. Just keep speaking. Emma reaches into the box. She pulls out a photograph. It's a little boy flying a kite in a large green park. The sky is bright blue. A gentle breeze moves the trees. Sarah smiles. Take your time. What do you see? Emma looks carefully. I see a little boy. He's smiling. He's flying a kite. It looks like a beautiful afternoon. Maybe he's spending time with his family. Sarah nods. Very nice. Now tell us something you can't actually see. Emma looks surprised. What do you mean? Michael smiles. Use your imagination. Emma thinks for a moment. Maybe. He's excited because it's his birthday. Or maybe. It's the first time he's flown a kite. Sarah smiles. Excellent. That's exactly what native speakers do. They don't just describe. They imagine. Repeat after me. Maybe he's happy. Repeat. It looks like. Repeat. I think. Repeat. Excellent. Now, Michael chooses a picture. It's an old man sitting alone on a park bench. He begins speaking immediately. I think he's waiting for someone. Maybe his granddaughter is coming to visit him. He doesn't look lonely. He looks peaceful. Emma smiles. That sounds like a real story. Michael laughs. That's because stories help your brain think in English, not isolated words, but complete ideas. Sarah writes another sentence on the whiteboard. Ideas become sentences. Sentences become conversations. Repeat after me. Ideas become sentences. Repeat. Sentences become conversations. Repeat. Wonderful. Sophia picks the next picture. It's a rainy street. People are carrying umbrellas. A woman is running toward a bus. Sophia smiles. She's late for work. She's trying not to miss the bus. I think she's worried. Emma notices something. Nobody is translating. Everyone is creating. Everyone is imagining. And everyone is speaking much longer than before. Sarah smiles. That's because your brain loves stories. Stories are easier to remember than vocabulary lists. Now it's time for today's native tip. Native speakers often use simple words to tell interesting stories. Instead of searching for advanced vocabulary, they use expressions like, I think, maybe, it looks like, it seems, I guess. These phrases give you time to think while keeping the conversation natural. Repeat after me. It looks like. Repeat. It seems. Repeat. I guess. Repeat. Maybe. Repeat. Excellent. Sarah places one final picture on the table. This one shows a crowded airport. People are pulling suitcases. Some are hugging. Others are saying goodbye. Emma smiles. This time, she doesn't hesitate. Someone is going on a trip. A family is saying goodbye. One little girl looks excited. Maybe she's flying for the first time. An older couple is smiling. Perhaps they're going on vacation. The airport feels busy, but everyone seems happy. Sarah claps her hands. Wonderful. Did you notice what just happened? Emma smiles. I spoke for almost a minute. Without translating. Michael nods. Exactly. You weren't thinking about words. You were thinking about the story. Repeat after me. I can tell a story. Repeat. I can use my imagination. Repeat. I can think in English. Repeat. Excellent. Now it's time for today's listening challenge. Listen carefully. Sarah says, you were thinking about the story. What does she mean? Emma memorized a long list of vocabulary. B. Emma focused on the ideas instead of translating every word. C. Emma stopped listening. The correct answer is B. Excellent work. Emma closes her eyes for a moment. She realizes something important. The more she focuses on meaning, the less she worries about language. For the first time, thinking in English no longer feels impossible. It feels natural. And Sarah has one more exercise waiting. One that will completely change the way Emma speaks English forever. Sarah smiles as she looks around the room. Everyone has done a wonderful job. Now it's time for the final exercise before lunch. Emma feels excited. She isn't nervous anymore. She is curious. Sarah places all the picture cards back into the box. This time, no pictures, no written words, only your imagination. The room becomes completely quiet. Sarah smiles. I'm going to say a situation. You tell the story. Don't translate. Don't memorize. Just imagine. Everyone nods. Sarah begins. You're walking home after work. Suddenly, you find a lost puppy. Emma closes her eyes. Almost immediately, a movie begins playing in her mind. She smiles. I think the puppy looks scared. Maybe it's hungry. I'd pick it up carefully. Then I'd look for its owner. If I couldn't find anyone, I'd take it home for the night. The room smiles. Sarah nods proudly. Excellent. Did you notice? Emma didn't stop to think about grammar. She simply followed the story. Repeat after me. I'd help the puppy. Repeat. I'd look for the owner. Repeat. I'd take it home. Repeat. Excellent. Now it's Michael's turn. Sarah smiles. You're at the airport. Your flight has been delayed for 5 hours. What do? Michael laughs. I'd find a coffee shop. I'd read a book. Maybe I'd talk to another traveler. You never know. You might meet someone interesting. Emma smiles. That's true. Sometimes, the best conversations happen unexpectedly. Sarah nods. Exactly. Life gives us stories every day. You only need to notice them. Now think in English. Your best vacation. Can you remember it? Your favorite restaurant. Can you picture it? Your happiest birthday. Can you remember that feeling? Excellent. Feelings are stronger than translations. Now it's time for today's native tip. Native speakers often think in scenes, not in individual words. For example, instead of thinking, restaurant, food, waiter, menu, they imagine sitting at the table, looking at the menu, ordering dinner, talking with friends. The whole scene appears at once. That's why they speak naturally. Repeat after me. I think in pictures. Repeat. I think in experiences. Repeat. I think in English. Repeat. Wonderful. Sarah smiles. Let's make it a little more challenging. This time, you have 30 seconds. Describe your perfect Sunday. Emma smiles immediately. I wake up early. The weather is sunny. I make a cup of coffee. Then I go for a walk in the park. I listen to music. In the afternoon, I read a good book. Later, I meet my friends for dinner. When I get home, I feel happy and relaxed. Sarah claps. That was wonderful. Emma laughs. I didn't translate. I just imagined my day. Michael smiles. That's the secret. Your imagination speaks much faster than translation. Emma nods. I can actually feel the difference. Repeat after me. I can feel the difference. Repeat. Thinking in English feels easier. Repeat. I'm becoming more confident. Repeat. Excellent. Now, it's time for today's listening challenge. Listen carefully. Michael says, your imagination speaks much faster than translation. What does he mean? A. Imagining ideas helps you respond more naturally. B. You should stop using your imagination. C. Translation is always faster. The correct answer is A. Excellent work. Sarah walks toward the window. The afternoon sunshine fills the room. She smiles at everyone. You've all made amazing progress today. But before we finish, there's one final lesson. It's the most important lesson of all. Emma looks curious. She has learned how to connect English with pictures. She has learned how to tell stories. She has learned how to imagine instead of translating. But Sarah believes there's one final habit. That will change Emma's English forever. Emma takes a deep breath. She smiles. For the first time in her learning journey, she isn't afraid of thinking in English. She's actually beginning to enjoy it. Emma looks at Sarah. She smiles. I feel different. Sarah smiles back. How? Emma thinks for a moment. When I arrived this morning, I thought thinking in English was impossible. Now, it feels possible. Not perfect, but possibly. Sarah nods. That's all you need. Progress, not perfection. Repeat after me. Progress matters. Repeat. I improve every day. Repeat. I trust the process. Repeat. Excellent. Sarah walks to the whiteboard one last time. She writes 2 simple sentences. Translate first. Think first. She circles the second sentence. This is your new goal. Not to become perfect tomorrow. Not to stop translating overnight. Simply, think first. Even if it's only for 1 sentence. Emma smiles. 1 sentence. I can do that. Michael laughs. Tomorrow, try ordering your coffee in English. Think first. Don't translate. The next day, describe your breakfast in English. Think first. A few days later, describe your walk to work. Think first. Little by little, your brain will build a new habit. Emma nods. That sounds much easier. Sarah smiles. Because it is. People often think fluency comes from learning thousands of words, but fluency begins with one simple habit: thinking directly in English. Now it's time for today's final native tip. Don't ask yourself, how do I say this in English? Instead, ask, how can I explain this in English? That small change makes a huge difference. Native speakers explain ideas every day. They don't search for perfect words. They communicate. Repeat after me. How can I explain this? Repeat. I can explain simple ideas. Repeat. Communication is more important than perfection. Repeat. Wonderful. Sarah smiles at everyone. Before we finish, I have one last challenge. Tonight, when you get home, spend 5 minutes thinking only in English. Look around your room. Describe everything you see. Describe what you're doing. Describe what you're feeling. Don't worry if your sentences are simple. Simple English is still English. Emma writes the challenge in her notebook. 5 minutes. Think only in English. She smiles. I can do that. Michael nods. And tomorrow, try 10 minutes. Next week, maybe 15. Small steps become big changes. Repeat after me. Small steps become big changes. Repeat. Every day, I become more fluent. Repeat. I enjoy thinking in English. Repeat. Excellent. Now it's time for today's final listening challenge. Listen carefully. Sarah says, communication is more important than perfection. What does she mean? You must never make mistakes. B. Sharing your ideas clearly is more important than speaking perfectly. C. You should stop learning grammar. The correct answer is B. Excellent work. The conversation club slowly comes to an end. People gather their bags. Friends say goodbye. Laughter fills the room. Emma walks toward the door with Michael. The afternoon sun shines brightly outside. Michael smiles. So, what are you thinking about? Emma laughs. That's funny. Michael looks surprised. Why? Emma smiles. Because, for the first time, I answered your question without translating it first. Michael grins. See? It's already happening. Emma stops for a moment. She looks up at the blue sky. She hears birds singing. She feels the warm sunshine on her face. And without even noticing, a thought appears in her mind. What a beautiful day. She doesn't translate it. She doesn't think about grammar. She simply thinks. In English. She smiles. Maybe this is how fluency begins. Not with perfect grammar. Not with difficult vocabulary. But with one simple thought. In English. Now think in English with me. Today was a good day. Repeat. I'm becoming more confident. Repeat. I can think in English. Repeat. I don't need to translate everything. Repeat. Every day gets a little easier. Repeat. I enjoy this journey. Repeat. Excellent. Take one slow, deep breath. Smile. Today, you trained something much more important than your memory. You trained your mind, and every time you think directly in English, your confidence grows. Your listening becomes easier. Your speaking becomes faster. And English begins to feel natural. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on SpeakWise Podcast. If today's lesson helped you think in English a little more naturally, please subscribe so you never miss a new episode. Your support helps us create more free English lessons for learners around the world. If you enjoyed this lesson, give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend who wants to speak English more fluently. Before you go, tell me in the comments, what was the first sentence you thought in English today? I'd love to read your answers. Until next time, keep listening, keep thinking, keep speaking, and remember, fluency doesn't begin when you know every word. Fluency begins when you stop translating. This is SpeakWise Podcast, where every story helps you think, speak, and live in English. Take care, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.